Welcome back, Amiibros, to Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. In the last episode, we gained our final new party member, Jeeble, a human that utilizes the demon's power to amplify his own. Or basically, he can amplify his darkness, which takes the form of a bat, and he can fire said bats out of his cape with a wave of his arm. Ooh! In this episode, we're going to be boarding a ship that'll take us directly to the castle that has arisen. Let us sunder the night by taking care of these demonic jellyfish that have boarded the ship. Not that it was that difficult to board the ship. I mean, look at all the holes in the boards. Have at ye, jellyfish! Just because the captain couldn't take care of his ship doesn't mean I will surrender to you willingly. Have at ye! Anyway, now that we're boarding the ship, this stage actually has two phases to it. One where we're spending time below the deck of the ship, and by god, the ship has a lot of fucking layers to it. I imagine it's very huge, considering how deep you go. But there's also the phase where you're above deck. Above deck, it's kind of a pain because you do have an obstacle in the form of wind, where it'll push you back and will gimp your jump. Wind is never a fun obstacle in platformers, let me tell you. Like, I remember as a kid, there was a game store around this tiny little strip mall area where my mom used to work at, and they sold a whole manner of games. Modern, at the time it was Xbox 360 and PS3, but they also had classic games, like GameCube games, N64, Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Genesis, you know, the works. And one of the games they had was Ninja Gaiden 2. Now, I heard stories about how difficult the Ninja Gaiden series was, and I decided to play 2, and I got to the stage where wind started to be a factor, and oh god, I remember having a miserable as fuck time in that stage. It was not fun, but needless to say, that stage alone kind of ruined other platforming stages that had wind in them. Like, I know, you know, I'm pretty sure there are platformers out there that do the whole wind as an obstacle thing really well, but I don't think Curse of the Moon is one of those platformers, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not obtrusively bad. Only the stage's boss, I would say, is the worst it gets with the wind, but I know wind can never be a fun time for those playing a platformer and whatnot. But thankfully, we're back inside the ship, and right there, I kind of overthought that aspect. I don't know why I didn't just stay as Alfred and just use his ice spell on that creature. Maybe I like seeing Jeeble get hurt. No, that's a lie. I'm trying to cover for my fuck-ups here, and it's not working. But right here, we have a mini-boss of sorts, and for this, I recommend you go in as Alfred and carry the ice spell, because the next boss we have is a portrait boss, and the portrait boss can be a little bit annoying to take on. So what you want to do is hop on that crate as Alfred, freeze the portrait, switch to Jeeble or Miriam depending on how high in the air the portrait is, attack it, and the portrait instantly shatters. Now, you can take on the portrait like regularly and deal enough damage to it. However, there is a time limit to it. If you do not take down the portrait fast enough, it will begin its one-hit kill move where it'll suck up your party member, and that is an instant kill. And keep in mind, the checkpoint is before that room, so you need to take care of that portrait. Obviously, there's an alternate pathway that you can take. However, if you're unfortunate enough to go down the pathway I went down, you have to take care of that portrait boss. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And needless to say, Alfred's ice spell makes that fight a fuck ton easier. So do what I did, grab the ice spell, go in as Alfred, and time the attack well enough, and you should be fine. And right there we see Zangetsu's empowered sub-weapon at work. The cool thing about Alfred's sub-weapon and subsequently, Zangetsu's power-up state and Alfred's fire shield subsequently, is that it's not just exclusive to them and them alone. If you activate it, you can switch to either Miriam or Jeeble and have them take advantage of it too. And I recommend, if you want, I recommend that you have Zangetsu hold on to his empowered sub-weapon and switch to Miriam or Jeeble, and that way you can really lay on the pain. Because again, Miriam has much longer range than any of the characters, and Jeeble has a much wider spread. So, again, the game really does incentivize you knowing how to take advantage of the individual character's strengths and weaknesses, and that will help you progress further throughout the stage. There's not going to be many instances where combining sub-weapons and party members will be applicable, but it's a fun little thing you can try when the situation calls for it. Right here we see the wind at work here, and god, it drags the stage on. Fuck, I fell. Luckily, if I go to the right, you know, things speed up a little bit. But right here is a bit tricky, so if you have Jeeble still alive, just turn into a bat and you're fine. You can avoid a lot of obstacles that way. Of course, if you want the challenge, you can always risk it on the platform, but fuck that. I'd rather not dance with death when it comes to wind. And right here we have a very special sub-weapon for Alfred, the electricity orbs. And those are, like I said before, those are only exclusive to green lamps. So the minute you see one, make a beeline for it, because this boss coming up is made a fuck ton easier with Alfred's electricity spell. Meet our next boss, Andrillfiss, or Andrillfiss? I don't know, I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, he'll start the fight moving back and forth, throwing lightning rods at the ground. Dodge and destroy them as quickly as possible, as Andrillfiss will either shoot a tornado in an attempt to blow you off. You can use Miriam's Slide to dodge, or Jeeble's Bat transformation. I recommend Miriam's Slide just to save yourself on weapon points. Andrillfiss will also unleash lightning strikes in a diagonal motion that can be tricky to dodge. No thanks to the wind that is a constant obstacle in this fight. You know, you see those two bottomless pits right there? The wind can blow you off, and Andrillfiss's attack will get in your way. Alfred shines in this fight, obviously, when using his electricity spell, which allows him to summon up to 3 orbs that home in on anything. Really helpful for a boss that likes to stay in the air. Jeeble also works well, given the spreading capabilities of his attack when Andrillfiss steps down. When Andrillfiss deploys his Desperation Attack, it's a bit tricky to dodge, as they'll set up pillars of lightning on both sides before unleashing a wide wall of electricity that swallows a good chunk of the stage and leaving you only a small portion to dodge it all. Again, the wind doesn't help. And if you can dodge all that, then you are certainly a master of this game. I, however, could not, but it's not like any Desperation Attack will instantly kill you. No Desperation Attack in this game can kill you, so that's all well and good. But after dealing with Andrillfiss, we are now arriving at the castle doors, and yeesh, this castle has seen better days. Christ, look at all that. The walls are torn off, only showing the iron that holds all the cement and mud together. Ew. Well, not so much cement, but definitely mud or something. Or the mud and brick, I would say. I don't think cement was made around the time that this game takes place. I don't think so anyway. You know, people that are watching this, post in the comments, let me know when cement was made. I'd love to know. And I'm being very genuine with that. I'm not trying to be sarcastic about it either. I'm genuinely curious. But as you saw right there, the knockback kind of fucked Miriam over, and she'll be sitting most of the stage out. Sorry, Miriam. Just wasn't your time to shine. And as you can see, the lightning spell has more applications outside of boss fights. It's not just a boss killer. It can be helpful with other enemies too. And as you saw with the knights that Alfred, as you saw with the knights, Jeeble's bats or Jeeble's darkness attack doesn't work well against the knights because they have thick armor that's thick with 5 Cs instead of actually no, it would be thick with 3 Cs because Alfred can only shoot up 3 bats. And yeah, with Jeeble, you can't really damage the knights. You'll either need Zangetsu or Alfred's lightning spell in order to do the job. So, keep that in mind. Jeeble's useful, not when it comes against the knights. Sorry, Jeeble, you just can't make the cut. But, yeah, we're down 1 party member, and oh boy, things are getting a whole lot more challenging now that we're in the castle. But thankfully, no other upgrades require Miriam. They only require Alfred, so that's all well and good. And like I said, so long as Jeeble is alive, we can traverse through tight spaces. And as long as we have the weapon points. Right there, I just said, fuck it, those knights are not worth killing. Well, actually, no. without Miriam, we can't go down this one pathway over here. We kind of need her whip to destroy that wooden obstacle there, because her whip has the reach, but it is what it is. Maybe next time we go into this castle. And right here, there's an extra life, but it's blocked by a wall of archers. Now, these archers up top here can actually fire down at you, and given that we're playing on veteran, that's no bueno des. So you want to either have Alfred's lightning spell or utilize Jeebel's bats to your advantage to take care of them quickly. But of course, be mindful of your weapon points. You know, Alfred can summon up to 3 of the electric orbs, and while they're useful, you don't need them eating up your weapon points. You know, you do have other characters here. And always remember that Alfred is nothing without his spells. You know, if he doesn't have his spells, he's nothing more than a little old blowing fart in the wind. And man, poor Zangetsu. Everybody else, like, without Zangetsu's mobility upgrades and whatnot, everybody just eclipses him, and it's really sad. Like, again, don't get me wrong, you know, he has a faster rate of attack, that much is for sure, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot when everybody just has more range than him, you know? Like, why be up close and personal with an enemy when you can just take him out from a distance, you know what I mean? You know, like I said, unless Zangetsu is rocking some mobility upgrades and whatnot, he's not really that useful outside of the first stage that you have him at. Or, I would say he's not really that useful after you get Alfred. Doubly more so once you get Jeebel. Ugh. And right here we see more applications of Alfred's ice spell. We could freeze these lava, we could freeze this pool of lava, because yes, that is lava. If you do fall in it, that is an instant kill, so be mindful of that. But with Alfred's ice spell, that obstacle is null and void, and we get ourselves an extra life too. And here we see Zangetsu's application of his attack power going up, and right here we have an annoying enemy, in addition to those mutated gerbil creatures. No, it's actually the next part of the stage. Sorry about that. And my god, look at all the blood and turmoil in this stage. Good golly, Miss Molly. This castle is just laying on the first impressions, man, let me tell you. Ugh. Alright, so it's right here that we get introduced to the Playboy Bunny. At least that's what it looks like to me. They're gonna leap at you, but you want to jump out of the way. Whenever they land on the floor, they do emit a shockwave, a small shockwave of affection, hence the hearts. But you want to be mindful of where they jump and where they land. You can hit them as they're about to go mid-jump. It's actually kind of funny, because the moment you hit them, they're like, hey man, what the fuck was that all about? But be quick on the draw with that. I guess Zangetsu does have some application with those enemies, but again, you can hit them out of the sky with Jeebel's darkness attack too. And speaking of bats, fuck these bats, fuck these bats. Alright, Jeebel, what are you doing? Jeebel, no! God damn it, Jeebel. Ugh. And it was your doubt that caused your demise. No matter, Zangetsu, it's now time to shine again, buddy. Sorry for smack talking you. But I really need you now. Otherwise, Alfred, there's really nobody there that can help. Meanwhile, Alfred here is just rocking his full health bar, being like, hey guys, what's going on? Already feeling exhausted? I'm not. Zangetsu's just like, shut up, Alfred. And oh boy, this is where the game starts to introduce some of the more tougher enemies, these demonic scissor-looking guys. What you want to do is you don't want to jump back from them. Instead, you want to jump forward, because they'll try to charge at you with their big scissors. And once you jump towards them, you'll jump over them. So that's all well and good. And right here we have a scene, or basically we have a part of the stage reminiscent of Castlevania 1, aka Death's Hallway, the most aggravating part of Castlevania 1 before a boss. And oh boy, Curse of the Moon actually makes this homage to that section a lot more tolerable thanks to Alfred's spells. If you have the ice spell, this section is a complete utter fucking joke. Doubly so if you have multiple characters. Alright, watch it, Zangetsu. You don't want to die. Come on, Zangetsu. You're almost there. Walk through the door. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. Oh, god damn it, Zangetsu. No! Alright, Alfred. It's up to you. Can he do it? The answer is no. What'd you expect? Anyway, after coming back, this time with a full party, we're now taking on our next boss, the Bloodless. This lovely lady will use her multiple umbrellas as her primary method of attack. The umbrellas will move around from left to right constantly. To halt their movement, simply attack them, something you'll want to do for another attack the Bloodless has. Use the umbrellas as makeshift platforms to get up close and personal to at least to a similar height as the Bloodless to get your attacks in. The Bloodless will move around the stage left to right before coating the floor in spikes. Stay on the umbrellas to avoid this attack, and after the spikes dissipate, stay under one of the umbrellas as the Bloodless will rain down, well, blood that can damage you, the umbrella being your only cover from this attack. Jeeble is the best choice for this fight against the Bloodless, again because of the spreading capabilities of his attack. Alternatively, if you have Miriam's 3 knives as a sub-weapon, that works too. Just come in with a lot of weapon points. The Bloodless, for a Desperation Attack, will become a tornado, as she will try to rush you. Not sure how you avoid this attack, but if you do, you'll get an extra life. Anyway, with 2 stages down and only 2 left, I'm gonna call it there. Next time on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, we continue our invasion of the castle. See you guys then.